This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. The Sharon Latham interview series is brought to you by selfieguide.co.uk. Go over and check it out. Okay, so you know at Manchester City we now have this huge amount of investment and we've got all these superstars joining the team. How did the players take to you? I mean, because I can't remember who was the official photographer, or even if they had one at the time, because they did. No. I don't think they did they?
No, City had never had a club photographer, so I was the first one, which in some ways is good, but then in other ways is really scary.
You're learning on the job, I guess.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, everybody was coming in new, everybody was coming in fresh. So again, referring back to the old mumsy thing.
Yeah.
I think it helped that I was friendly. I've got a cracking sense of humour. I can banter with any bloke as much as they banter with me.
Yeah.
So as soon as they saw that that was the sort of person I was, it was more reassuring to them. And I think, I always say, if you fake being confident, you end up being confident anyway.
Yeah, that's a good
so
saying.
I'll be honest, I was scared shitless to start with. You know, we're talking Premier League footballers, we're talking superstars, and I'm little on me from Horwich, you know what I mean? So I was probably as nervous as some of those new players were coming in, and starting that first season was terrifying, but it was very easy because some of them were a little bit scared, and I could see that, and I just went into full mother or sister mode with them, and it worked. They reacted to me in a pleasant but guarded way to start with, and then, like any footballer, it's about the trust. When they realised that I wasn't going to run around and sell my pictures to everyone and everybody, then they were fine. And you also find the more superstarish they are, the more nervous they are as well about what's going to happen, which is justifiable, really.
Protecting all their image rights and everything, because it only, it's like the old adage that you can take years building up a reputation, but it can be lost in a second, type of thing. So that trust, I would imagine that trust element is really, really important.
And I think the first time I did some personal jobs for them as well, for their family as well, that was quite building as well.
So they used to ask you to come into their homes,
come and do the kid's birthday, or my wife's pregnant, will you come and photograph this, that, and the other. So I do stuff like that. Oh God, no. Can you imagine it? Mario phones me up. Sharon. No. But I mean, sometimes they'd have a private job themselves, like it'd be a family birthday party, what have you. So I'd get called to go and do that. So again, that trust element, when they realised that I was going to protect them, their family and their family's pictures, then that was massive.
Helped you actually in your job role. What you've obviously photographed some incredible players at your time at Manchester City. From a photography point of view, who was the best footballer that you enjoyed photographing, and why?
Sports photography is difficult because sometimes they're looking down, looking at the ball and all the rest of it, but without a shadow of a doubt, David Silva's so easy to photograph.
Why?
He doesn't look at the ball when he's running. So you can get a full-on beautiful shot of David Silva in action. He was always epic to photograph if you were in the right spot. And the other one, the goalies, when they make a tremendous save.
Action scenes.
Yeah. And Micah, because Mike used to throw himself around like a moron, and some of the jumping pictures I've got of Micah are epic.
I did a video. And if you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. It was about the dream scene. You know the dream scene. I interviewed Jamie Cooper, in Australia, and he sent me through a nice video with regards to the background to the, and one of my favourite. I did a breakdown of all the individual people in there and their backstory, why they were in there. And one of my favourites from there is the last one, which really is Micah. And it's
awesome.
It's the way he's captured his face and the smile, and it's the bar of soap with his F word on, in his interview. I mean, I would imagine he always seemed to be smiling on any of the videos.
He was a character, But sports-wise, for an action, he was such a big bloke, but he used to throw himself around like a psychopath. Yeah. And Nigel de Jong, you could always guarantee there was going to be a slide shot of some sort.
Of course.
So there are some footballers that were quite creative and flaring and sort of players, but David Silva, I could always get a decent shot on David Silva. Always.
My all-time favourite Man City
He's an epic
player.
player.
Yeah, I think we always have our favourites.
Hair or no hair, I don't give a toss. He's amazing.
He's a legend. Yeah. He's an absolute legend. Watching sort of as a fan the Man City TV videos that were always shown. Well, it used to be less so now, but it's sort of, certainly 2-3 years ago there was a lot of videos, and you were in quite a lot of those.
You can't get away from it because they were everywhere.
Yeah, well, of course, I'm sure
Literally
there's more
everywhere.
than one camera. There's lots of cameras on you, but from those videos and from the tunnel cams and things like that, you seem to have like a really, really close relationship with Edin Dzeko and Alexander Kolarov.
Mr. Kolarov.
Mr. Kolarov. What was it about those two in particular? I know you mentioned last time we met, you mentioned
Stefan
Savic as well, but what was it about those three then that you seem to have this real nice affinity to?
Well, I think the obvious thing with Kolarov is just how he looks, and any woman will back me up on this one. He is your typical bad boy, gorgeous human being. He's just amazingly funny. And he was amazingly funny from day one when he came, and it never showed that. It was always it was always the dry face, but behind the scenes, he is just the funniest, nicest, kindest man you'd ever wish to meet. Genuinely a kind man, and I was really shocked by the fact, because obviously the Serbian and Bosnian situation. So when Edin came in, I was like, how's that going to work? Yeah. And they were like busy mates from day one. And I loved that connection that they had, and I just thought that's really nice. And because of their humour and the bouncing off each other, I just got stuck in the middle of it. And then when Savic came along, it was the three of them.
Yeah, of course.
It was like the three amigos.
He's one of the ones that you don't really hear much about, or you didn't really see a great deal of him, certainly on film.
No.
It was mainly sort of Edin and Kolarov.
Yeah, but the three of them that were inseparable.
Really?
They'd make sure they had rooms next to each other.
Yeah.
They'd go, whenever there was any downtime, they'd be all together at each other's houses. So they were busy mates, and they are such a nice... They still stay in touch now.
Fantastic.
They're all still friends, and obviously Kolarov and Edin together at Roma.
Yeah.
Still keep in touch with both of them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Still speak to Edin and Kolarov all the time.
Yeah.
They're fab. They're just... I think the key thing was, one, because Kolarov is my ideal man. He's a beautiful creature. But not just physically wise. He's just a very nice, very funny man. Yeah. Very funny.
Oh,
bad boy, though.
Yeah, well, that's what he comes across as. And some women like the bad
angry boy. He's not. He's
really
pussycat,
nice.
really.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.